Would you electrocute a stranger because an authority figure told you to? 65% of people did in Milgram's experiment. Social psychology studies how powerfully others shape what we think, feel, and do. Attribution theory explains how we interpret the causes of behavior. When we see someone act, we make either internal attributions, crediting their character or disposition, or external attributions, blaming the situation. These snap judgments shape every social interaction we have. The fundamental attribution error is our tendency to overestimate dispositional factors and underestimate situational ones when explaining other people's behavior. We blame the person and ignore the context. Meanwhile, when explaining our own behavior, we do the opposite. We blame the situation. Cognitive dissonance occurs when our behavior conflicts with our attitudes, creating uncomfortable tension. To resolve it, we often change our attitude to match our behavior rather than the reverse. Festinger showed that people who did a boring task for $1 rated it more enjoyable than those paid $20. Solomon Asch's conformity experiments showed that people deny obvious truths to match group consensus. Participants compared line lengths. Confederates deliberately gave wrong answers. 75% of real participants conformed at least once. The desire to fit in was stronger than commitment to accuracy. Stanley Milgram's obedience experiments found that 65% of ordinary participants administered what they believed to be dangerous electric shocks to a stranger, simply because an authority figure in a lab coat told them to continue. Proximity of victim and authority both affected compliance rates. Normative social influence drives conformity through the desire to be accepted and liked. We change our public behavior to fit in, even when privately we disagree. Informational social influence drives conformity through uncertainty. We look to others to understand an ambiguous situation. The bystander effect shows that people are less likely to help in an emergency when others are present. Diffusion of responsibility leads each person to assume someone else will act. Pluralistic ignorance causes each person to assume no one else is concerned. Both reduce helping dramatically. Prejudice is a preconceived negative attitude toward a group. Stereotypes are the cognitive component, oversimplified beliefs about group members. Discrimination is the behavioral component, differential treatment. All three reinforce each other and are difficult to change independently. Moscovici Sherif's Robbers Cave experiment demonstrated realistic conflict theory in action. Two groups of boys, placed in competition for scarce prizes, rapidly developed intense hostility and derogatory stereotypes toward each other. Only shared goals reduced the conflict between the groups. The frustration-aggression hypothesis proposes that blocking a goal always produces frustration, which generates an impulse toward aggression. The target of aggression may be displaced onto a scapegoat rather than the actual source of frustration. Media violence exposure is modestly associated with increased aggression. Social facilitation occurs when the presence of others improves performance on well-earned tasks. The same audience impairs performance on difficult or novel tasks. Robert Zajonc explained this through arousal. Others raise our arousal level, which helps simple responses but hurts complex ones. Social loafing occurs when people in groups exert less effort than they would working alone. Each person assumes others will carry the load. Accountability removes loafing. When individual contributions are identifiable, people contribute fully. Group size and task visibility determine how much loafing occurs. Groupthink occurs in highly cohesive groups that prioritize harmony over critical analysis. Dissent is suppressed, alternatives are ignored, and the group convinces itself it is correct. Groupthink contributed to catastrophic decisions, including the Bay of Pigs invasion and the Challenger space shuttle disaster. Group polarization means that group discussion pushes members toward a more extreme version of their initial position. If a group leans slightly cautious, they become very cautious after discussion. If they lean slightly risky, they become very risky. Shared arguments amplify the dominant tendency.